welterweight. Now, to me, the next person to fight Islam is pretty obvious. It's either going to be Ian Gary or Usman. And if the UFC, Islam wants to fight Usman because he thinks it's good for his legacy. I personally think Usman is not the same guy he was 5 years ago when he was just dominating welterweight. If Usman fought any of Michael Morales, Ian Gary, Carlos Protes, Shavkat, he loses to all of them. And so if the UFC gifts him a title shot against Islam, ironically, I actually think Islam is a fight that it is easier for him stylistically than the others because Islam will wrestle with him. And I think at this stage in his career, Usman's kryptonite is somebody who's tall and hits like a truck. Think about Buckley. There were moments when he fought Buckley where it seemed like Buckley really, it was scary. Like, oh my gosh, I don't want to see him get laid out. Imagine if he fought Protes. Let's not kid ourselves here. That would be a bad day.
Holy crap.
And so in any case, I do think Makhachev will beat Ian Gary or Usman. Now, Shavkat is kind of the I don't want to say dark horse. It's probably not a great description because he's a number one contender. But Shavkat is kind of the person who kind of throws a bit of a wrench in all of this because he realistically should have gotten a title shot a long time ago, but he got injured. And so I think it's unlikely the UFC will give him a title shot for his first fight back. They'll probably give him a tune-up fight first, especially because there's so many new faces in the top 5. And so after Islam beats Ian Gary or Usman, I think he'll fight the winner of Shavkat and Michael Morales. I think Shavkat and Michael Morales will probably fight sometime in the middle of this year, maybe even early, maybe in the spring or something. And so who wins in that fight? God, I'd probably pick Shavkat. I think Morales is good, but he's mostly just kind of a physical force than he is extremely technical. When you look at the last 2 fights he won against Gilbert Burns and Sean Brady, he kind of just didn't respect them at all and just kind of bum rushed them. And he's a big dude, so he could get away with that. But Shavkat is, he's tall as well. He can meet him with an equal and opposite force, just like size wise. And so if I were to take a guess, I would think that Shavkat will probably fight Makhachev by the end of the year. And I think some of that depends on how good Shavkat looks. If Shavkat completely rolls through Michael Morales, that fight with Makhachev starts to look a lot more competitive. But if he has a tough fight with Morales and it's like a war, he barely gets through it, man, Makhachev, he's the number one contender. And dude, if Makhachev racks up 2 more wins this year, we got to start thinking about him in the GOAT, as the GOAT of the sport. It's getting ridiculous. Double champ, an insane win streak, a lot of finishes, some really good names on his resume. At this point, I think it's getting pretty conclusive. So if I were to take a guess, I'd say Makhachev will probably be champ at the end of the year.
Where do you put JDM in all of this?
I think JDM will probably fight Protes, and he'll probably lose.
Really?
Yeah.
He's very defensively sound.
He is, but dude, I feel like I said that about Leon too. And sure. Protes just rolls through them. I don't know. He's kind of an X factor. I think the only guy who's going to beat Protes is somebody who is a wrestler, but a wrestler, a true wrestler, not like Ian Gary, a wrestler like Makhachev or Hamzat. If Protes, for whatever reason, finds himself as welterweight champion and Hamzat just wants to cut some extra weight, he could tack on a double champ pretty easily. That's a fight that he'll win, I think, almost every time. So I do think he probably beats JDM. If that fight got booked, I think I'd have to pick him. Unless JDM pulls out some crazy, game plan like Ian Gary did and beats him that way. Because JDM's stand-up is really good, not to be underestimated. But Protes just seems on a roll, man. He just looks unstoppable right now. So I would have, KO of the year contenders. It's hard not to see him as just kind of an unstoppable force at the moment.
True. Yeah, like, I'll keep my answer short. I think it depends on how many times Islam fights. I've gotten a lot of flack for like my opinion on this, but I think Usman is the style to beat Islam. But I do think Islam beats probably everybody else. So it's kind of like, does he fight Usman? It's kind of a weird fight to make right now, but it's what he's asking for. I don't know. But I would say if he fights Usman, I think Usman would take that fight. But I think if he fights anybody else, I'd give it to Islam. So
So
I don't know, somewhere in there.
if he fights Usman and let's say Usman wins, going by my prediction, Usman would then fight Shavkat at the end of the year. Who do you think wins that fight?
Yeah. I would probably say Shavkat decision.
So your prediction for the champ at the end of the year is Shavkat. Interesting. Not a bad pick. I see it as a very real possibility too. I mean, I think if Shavkat looks like an absolute monster against Michael Morales, if that fight happens, I don't know. Maybe he will be Hamzat.